So, why is critical thinking so difficult to teach? And what can we do to make it less difficult for all? Cambridge University conducted a survey that found out that 93% of teachers agreed that it's imperative to develop students' critical thinking skills, and less than 22% of the teachers felt that they have all the materials they need to develop these skills. As critical thinking quickly becomes one of the most necessary assets for school leavers, we look at why it is so important and how we can help students become better critical thinkers. A student with good critical thinking skills is someone who can see both the sides of an issue and be open to new evidence that challenges their ideas. They also need to be emotionally intelligent, demand that claims should be backed by facts, deduce and infer conclusions from evidence and solve problems. In addition, they need to engage in independent and reflective thought, form their own opinion and make better choices. Specific subjects also require students to think critically in order to deliver a higher level of academic achievement and present more well-rounded responses. Whether we are encouraging students to think like a geographer or historian or scientist, etc., or just to think critically in a more general way, we are asking a lot from our students, so it is no wonder why it's so hard to teach critical thinking. A survey conducted by the Times Education Supplement asked more than 1,000 teachers from around the world to rank the skills needed for success in higher education, and 92% identified critical thinking as one of the most important skill, and for good reason. Whether students progress from school to university or the world of work, they will need to use their critical thinking skills every day. The need to enhance these skills in students extends beyond their ability to get the highest grades, stand out against their peers and get promoted quickly. Whilst critical thinking does open all those doors, the situation is a bit more complicated than that. Perhaps it is best summed up by the late Alvin Toffler. He said, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write. It will be those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." Technology such as artificial intelligence and big data has carved the way for a new wave of job role, where simply remembering and repeating facts is nowhere near enough. Students no longer have to stand out against their peers in order to get a job, they have to stand out against a computer. There is not an aspect of students' futures that will not require a deep emotional intelligence and a comprehensive critical thinking skill set, so the developing of these skill set has to start in the classroom. There are many different strategies and ideas that can help develop these skills, whether that is in a specific subject or as an extra or cross-curricular project. However, it could be argued that all ways to teach critical thinking starts with a question. The habits of mind that characterize a person strongly disposed toward critical thinking include a desire to follow reason and evidence, wherever they may lead, a systematic approach to problem solving, inquisitiveness, even-handedness, and confidence in reasoning. According to a definition analysis by Kampf and Bond, critical thinking involves problem solving, decision-making, metacognition, rationality, rational thinking, reasoning, knowledge, intelligence and also a moral component such as reflective thinking. Critical thinkers therefore need to have reached a level of maturity in their development and possess a certain attitude as well as a set of taught skills. There is a postulation by some writers that the tendencies from habits of mind should be thought as virtues to demonstrate the characteristics of a critical thinker. These intellectual virtues are ethical qualities that encourage motivation to think in particular ways toward specific circumstances. However, these virtues have also been criticized by skeptics who argue that there is lacking evidence for this specific mental basis that are acting as a cause to critical thinking. Depending on the context of your lesson, challenging students through questioning them can be a really simple and also an effective way of initiating critical thinking skills in students. Asking why do you think that? What does it imply? Could someone else view it differently, and why? Or many other open-ended questions allow students to critically assess their own thinking and consider how others may perceive things and alternative explanations. The notion that there is no right or wrong answer is important to advocate. The conclusion is acceptable as long as there is logical reasoning behind it.